Welcome to Capture the World with D. Interviews with companies and individuals to learn more about digitally capturing the built world. Video, drone, 3D tours, pictures, panoramas, and more. And now your host, a social influencer and community activist, D. Johnson.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Capture the World with D. I'm your host, D. Johnson. Today's episode is being sponsored by Casa, the makers of a revolutionary app that allows you to scan a property using your mobile device in under 5 minutes and get a professional floor plan the next business day. So if you haven't tried it out yet, go to cubi.casa, that's cubi.casa, and try them out today. Remember, your first scan is always free, so what have you got to lose? All right, joining me today is the owner of OpenHouse Live, a software package that allows multi-user 3D tours with live video. It's a really cool product, and I know you're going to enjoy this session. So without further ado, please help me welcome Keith McMahon.
Hi, Dee.
Hi, Keith. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having us on. It's a real pleasure.
Of course, of course. All right, so why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, and let's start out by talking a little bit about how Boost 3D was formed, and then sort of how OpenHouse Live fits into Boost 3D.
Of course, yeah, thank you. So I think, first of all, I'll just make it clear that I co-founded with Mark Cuddy. Mark Cuddy isn't actually on the call today, and I think he'd probably string me up if I didn't mention the fact that he is the technical brains behind this. You know, he's the one that's done all of the coding. You know, I come to him with great ideas, and then he delivers them. So, you know, I can't let that go without mentioning that. But I've been in and around the industry for a long time. I've been capturing tours for over 4 years. Mm-hmm. So we were capturing tours in the UK before Matterport actually came to the UK. You know, back in the day, one of our competitors was Virtual Walkthrough. And then, of course, Matterport came along and they bought up Virtual Walkthrough. And the rest, as they say, is history, because they then expanded throughout Europe and the world and the universe. So, you know, that's how it sort of started 4 years ago. We were shooting. Gradually over time, we've built up a huge volume of tours that we've captured. And I built up a relationship with Mark, and we were talking about how to enhance tours. You know, how can we make them better? Mm-hmm. Some of the feedback that we'd had from people was, look, we really love virtual tours. We think they're great. They're great tools, but they can be a bit sterile because you're just sending them out to people and expecting them to explore by themselves. You lose the personal touch. Mm-hmm. Yes. You know, you've not got that interaction between two people that you have when you're there and you're speaking to them.
Yep.
So we looked at that and we said, okay, well, what can we do with that? And at the same time, we were looking at some of the stuff that was going on in the US around accessibility and around making sure that your tours are accessible. So the first challenge that I had for Mark was, Mark, you know, can you create a voice control tour? That was his first challenge. And he did. He created that. That's currently sitting in the background. The reason we've never actually gone live with it is just because at the minute it's only for Android and PC. It's not actually made it to the Apple ecosystem yet. So that's there.
Wow.
Even though we've not done anything with it. Yes, at the minute there is a product that allows you to say forward, left, left.
No way.
And you will walk through a Matterport tour. Maybe we'll show you that another day.
Yeah, definitely. I know so many people who would love that.
Yeah. Particularly for the accessibility.
Yes.
People that can't manipulate a tool with their hands.
Absolutely. That was a big ask when I was at Matterport.
Well, Mark did that in about half a day. You know.
Yeah, well, Mark's a superstar, which is why he's not here with us today, because he's off working.
Yeah, he would literally be under the hood of a computer somewhere. He's definitely the Bill Wozniak of the relationship. So that was his first challenge, and he did that very quickly. And then we said, okay, what else can we do? So we looked at people trying to stream tours using video conferencing, and it was clunky, and the stream wasn't great, and it didn't work very well. And we said, you know, can we do something with that? Can we improve on that? So Mark got to work and had lots of sleepless nights. He works with his good friend Jack Daniels. So they'll have lots of long nights in the office. And he did it very quickly. He came up with a prototype, and we've gradually built on that and evolved that. And one of the big sort of things to think about with regards to what he's done to bring this to life is that there is no streaming. There is no stream. You're not streaming something via a video conferencing app. Mm-hmm. You are inside the tour mm-hmm. with the other people. Mm-hmm. So up to 4 people can be inside the same Matterport tour. So that was, that was the challenge, and that was something that he came very, very quickly to the table with and said, "What do you think of this?" And it was a great product.
Well, actually, that's interesting because a lot of Matterport users have a hard time navigating, right? That's the biggest drawback. It's like, okay, now I have this great tour. Now, what do I do? And so that can alleviate that issue where you're you're driving for them and saying, look, you can go to the dollhouse and then go into a room. You don't have to walk all the way across the house, right? So that addresses that issue totally.
Mm-hmm. Guide them there, and we took feedback right from the very start. We had some great beta testers, and we were taking feedback from people. What do you want? What's important to you? What industry are you in, and how can this be evolved to make sure that it suits? So we quickly realized that real estate, is obviously the largest volume of tours. Mm-hmm. Lots of tours out there, lots of tours for us to work with. So the feedback that we got very quickly was that not everyone uses a mouse. I thought that everyone used a mouse or used the trackpad, but there are a lot of people that navigate through tours using their keyboard, which, so the early feedback was that, can we get that keyboard control? So that was very quickly done. Then it was, can we access the Matter tag? It's like, okay, well, there's a different challenge there, but let's do that. Mm-hmm. Can we get the doll's house working? Can we get the floor plans? Yep, all that's been done. So all of those came back as direct feedback from people. But probably the number one bit of feedback we had right from the start is, I've got lots of tours here. I've got so many tours, and the way that this works, we generate a link and we send it to clients, and then we're inside the same tour. What if that's not the right house? What can we do in this case? So Mark again got to work and added in a portfolio tool which allows you to flick between multiple Matterport tours at the click of a button, and everyone that's part of the collaborative tour experience will come along and they will be part of that journey with you. So that's really where we've been, and if I can explain what we do in a nutshell, it's multiple participants in a virtual tour with live video chat. Mm-hmm. Because if you look at two of the big technologies at the minute, Dee, you're looking at Matterport 3D tours, huge, lots of demand, lots of people want them, and of course video conferencing. Mm-hmm. Video conferencing over the last 3 months has been
oh yeah.
When you combine the two, when you combine 3D tours, which are hugely popular, with video conferencing, which is essential in the current climate, we know that there are still places where you can't go to, not just residential, but businesses, venues, museums, lots of places where you can't go. So video conferencing really comes into play by putting people inside these locations and then giving the staff the chance to interact with them via the live video chat, via the live text chat, by the screen share, all of the things that you'd expect from a high-level video conferencing site, but inside a Matterport tour.
Mm-hmm. Terrific. Okay, so how does OpenHouse Live fit in with Boost 3D? Because I don't think that's obvious.
So OpenHouse Live is part of Boost 3D. So Boost 3D is a company that has been set up to enhance, improve 3D tours for both MSPs and end users. So there are 4 of us in Boost 3D. So Mark and I set up, and after a little while we said, look, we've both got sort of the day jobs, we've both got, what we do on a daily basis, we need some more support, we need some specialists in certain areas. So with that in mind, we approached Mark Shepard and Rob Wileman from Apollo 3D, a huge 3D tour provider here in the UK. And we said, look, is there a way that we can work together here? You guys have got skills, we've got this product, what can we do to work together? So Rob and Mark then came on board, and we're really working as a great team now in helping to shape the product, understand what people are asking for, and deliver it. And I have to say that right from the get-go, we were probably underprepared for the demand that we were going to have.
Well, when you put 4 heavy hitters together, you're gonna have to expect that, because the 4 of you are pretty like high level, and everybody knows you. I knew you, right? It's like everybody knows you guys. So, right there, that's a winning combination.
Thank you. It's very kind, Dee. And it's important for us to have a clear direction, but also have the infrastructure to deliver when you've got such high levels of demand.
Yeah.
We've got real estate agents, we've got MSPs, we've got venues, we've got different industries, different verticals coming to us and saying, how can we use this in our industry? Because we want the personal touch, but we also want the high-tech walkthrough with all of the embedded media. So, that's where, looking at it, yes, you've got a great product, but what we've been doing is working hard on the infrastructure that sits behind it and thinking about how can we work with MSPs so they can benefit from this as well.
Right.
So we looked at that, and we spent a long time thinking about that, because we know that for many MSPs, you go out, you shoot your tour, maybe you'll generate a little bit in the way of hosting, but that recurring revenue isn't always there if you're shooting and getting paid for a shoot. So we looked at it and we said, what can we do? So we've got a great reseller program that allows MSPs to sell on this product. They can sell on the product, they can generate a margin on it, because ultimately it's easier for us to have one MSP as our customer in Washington State than it is for us to try and find 20 customers on the ground, because we don't know the area, we don't know who's around. So if we've got one customer and they're a reseller and they're able to make a good margin on the product, they're able to sell it to their clients, put their branding around it, it's win-win, because their clients end up with a great product, they make a good margin from it, and we've got one person to deal with rather than lots.
Yes.
So to really allow for that, what we've said is, we're going to have, especially at this moment in time, a half price rate for all MSPs. So for anyone that wants, the tour from us, they would get it at a 50% discount. And as a little bonus, if they bring 2 customers our way in any calendar month, we will waive their invoice for that month. So they won't even have to pay a thing for it, because it's then everyone wins, because they're bringing in the customers, and we'll say, hey, thank you for that. Let's cancel that invoice for this month.
Okay. So what do you have to do to prove that you're an MSP to get the 50% off?
It's a good question. I think we could go down the route of asking, camera model numbers, things such as that. But ultimately, anybody can write M27 down and tell you that's their number.
Yeah, but the new serial numbers are different, so harder to copy.
Yeah, they are. So we could go down that route. I think what we're doing for the time being is we're just asking them for their website.
Yeah.
As long as we see that they are a business and that they have a website, then it's always easier if they've got a corporate email address, right? It's far harder if somebody is paul@gmail.com. So yeah, as long as they've got a website, we'll have a one-to-one demo with them, and as long as that they've got a Matterport business, we'll give them at half price.
Okay. So James O'Neill has a question for you. I think.
James.
How do you resell? Do we have to be the host and set up calls?
So basically, you can have your calls with your demo account. We've also just this week set up a take a test drive feature on the site, where you don't have to sign up, you don't have to do anything. All you do is you put 1 or 2 details in, and that will give you a free 5-minute demo. So nobody even needs a Boost 3D or an OpenHouse account to demo it with potential clients. They can go in, click on take a test drive, put the details in, and then we'll have a link that's live for 5 minutes. And they can send it to whoever they wish. They're on the call. It's not with a member of our team. That's just for them to have a little play around themselves. And then if they want to, they can schedule a one-to-one. And we'd encourage MSPs to have the same type of structure. I do think that one-to-ones and human contact is what we're all about.
Yeah.
You know, putting the video chat inside the tours is all about that human contact. And I think that for anybody that works in sales, they know that a conversation is worth 10 emails.
Okay, so wait. So let me see if I understand this. So you don't have to have an account to try it out. But what if I have an account? I'm an MSP. I create an account, and I want to sell this to my clients who are real estate agents. How does that work?
Okay, so basically you'd be able to upload your logo. So when there's a holding screen, you'd send them a link. They'd click on the link. They'd see your logo, and then the tour would start. So you're in the tour with them. You're able to talk them through. In order to get them there in the first place, we've actually got some unbranded videos that people can use. They can put their logo at the front. They can put this video on their social channels. And we've also got PDF brochures with the same. People can brand it and send it out. So we're trying to provide lots of tools from a lead gen perspective. And then when you encourage people to get on the call with you, they are your customer. We're not there, that's you and them. You can talk them through it. You can access all of the tours in your portfolio just by clicking a button, and you can let them see what it would be like to actually have that conversation with a customer.
And so then when the agent says, great, I love this product, which they probably would, then they have access to set this up so they can do it live with their clients, right?
All they would do is they would give us the client email address. We're not emailing them direct. All we're doing is we're setting up their account for them, and then they will be able to provide the details to their client. And then ultimately, we would then invoice the MSP. The MSP would invoice their customers because, again, they're their customers. We don't want to be involved in that interaction. We're just dealing with the MSP. We invoice them. They invoice their customers. It's a nice, clean journey. As I said right from the start to many MSPs, I can't go and do a shoot in California. I've got no interest in your customers. Your customers are your customers. And if we can give you a product that you can sell to them and make recurring revenue from it, great, everyone wins.
So in answer to James's question, Striking Places Photography says, no, James, your client gets their own login that you give to them. So James said, what do you mean by giving customer a login?
So basically, if you set up an account, say me and you had the conversation, you said, I really like this. I'd say, okay, there's your account. So you've got your login details, you've got your password, you go in. Would now be a good time to actually go in and show you what that looks like? Because that would answer James's question.
Absolutely.
Would that be worthwhile?
Yep.
Okay, shall I share my screen and we can take a look at that?
Sounds great.
Okay, let me minimize this. So this is the Boost 3D homepage. So there's a login screen.
And so for Teddy, who's saying he's interested in learning more. So Teddy, go to openhouse.boost3d with the number 3.net. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. So basically, once you have your login details, you would log on. Now, if I'm being honest, Dee, this whole product has come about very quickly because of the situation that we're in. Everybody wanted this because of COVID and the situation that we're in. So we've got this out there now. I think the next step on the product map, if we're looking at giving MSPs the right tools, is a branded URL. Something that would say d.boost3d.net. Something that's got your branding in there. So that's on the development map, but we need to prioritize what we're doing right now at this moment. So you'd have a login. So the users would log in, you would log in, you'd do your demo with the customer, and if they wanted their own account, you provide us with their details, we give them to you, and then they can log in whenever they want and use this system. So once you've logged in, so at the minute I'm logged in fact, let me log out for one sec because I want to show you where the take a test drive is at the moment. So at the moment, when you're not logged in, you can see this take a test drive at the top. That gives you the opportunity to do exactly what it says on the tin. You can get on there, you can have a little wander around inside the tour, and you can take a test drive. Once you then got an account, so let's log in. Okay, so OpenHouse Live. So I'm going to set up an event with you, Dee.
Okay.
Super easy. So you have select models. So as I mentioned, you have your portfolio. So you can add as many Matterport tours into your portfolio as you wish. All you do, you put your URL in here, so just the letters and numbers after the M equals. You put your model title in here, and that will add these tours to your portfolio.
Okay, so that's your portfolio we're seeing.
That's how you add things to your portfolio. Okay. So you've got your tours in your portfolio. To set up a meeting, you would say, okay, let's set up this meeting at Rise Hall. Let's set it for today at, where are we? So let's set it for 17:30. How many participants? 2. So this number here includes the host. So let's say there's just me and you, so 2 participants. My time zone is London, and this is Dee and Keith demo. So I would then submit that. You would then get this link. So one of the key selling points of what we do is there are no downloads. You don't have to download anything like Zoom or like Skype. This is all browser based. What you would do is you would send this to your potential customer. Now, the reason that we've got 1 or 2 limitations on browsers is because we've really tried to steer away from the need to download. So we've had to work with modern browsers. You know, there are some browsers, if you think about things like Internet Explorer, that maybe are, you know, on older sort of notebooks, you know, and other devices. You know, we've tried to work with modern browsers because we want all the features, all the functionality. Now, most people have got access to Chrome, Firefox, or Safari. You know, they're super common browsers.
Yeah.
So you send this to people, I would send this to you, you would click on the link, and then we would both be inside the tour at the same time. So the only other thing on here that I wanted to show you, you've got your minutes used here. This tells you how many minutes that you've used in any given month. So you've got an allowance of 10,000 minutes in a month. And I know that when we spoke about that, Dee, that number was like a huge number.
Okay, well, wait. So we have to back up here a bit. So we need to talk about the pricing, and that's where this will make more sense. So why don't you talk about the pricing model?
Of course, yeah. Well, the pricing is for 3 products. So there's the one that you see now, and I'm going to introduce you to 2 more that are part of the same ecosystem here. So the price for 3 products is £99 or $119 or 109 euros per month. Okay. Now that gives you unlimited tours. You can put as many tours as you want into your account. That gives you as many meetings as you want, as long as we're within this 10,000 minutes. So 10,000 minutes is a lot of time. Nobody's ever gone over 10,000 minutes yet. It gives you, you know, somewhere in the region of 160 hours. You know, you could be having calls every day for hours and hours and hours. 10,000 minutes is a lot of.
I think I calculated it's 7 days straight, like 24/7 for 7 days.
Okay, so I don't think anybody's going to be doing that.
I agree.
Now, underneath here, you've got your upcoming appointments. So this is your calendar. These are all the calls that you've got booked in, which is great from a diary management perspective because you can see everything that's coming up, all of your meetings in one place, and then you can click on that meeting and you can go straight to it. So a really useful tool in managing your diary. So this, as I said, is one of 3 features. So OpenHouse is you know the flagship feature, if you like. You know, as well as that simplicity, as well as the fact that you know you're not having to download anything. You've got your portfolio. You know, as I said, there's no streaming, so it's always crystal clear, exactly as if you were in a Matterport tour. The other 2 features that you get as part of the package are the audio features. So OpenHouse Audio is a way of embedding audio into your tours. So super simple, super easy to use. I'll give you a very quick example so you can see it.
Yeah, it's a neat product.
Boost 3D is an exciting new platform allowing you to...
Sorry, wrong one. We're not live, Dee. Right, so let's go on this one instead. Okay, so basically, what we're doing with this is we're adding audio to individual sweeps on the floor. The first one will play automatically as soon as the tour starts.
Welcome to 32 Bell Close in Astonbury. I'll be guiding you through this lovely 3-bedroom family home. Please do take your time to explore. The audio description will play in each room, or you can access the audio points using the menu. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions.
So every time you get to a new sweep on the floor, it will play one of the audio points that users have attached to that point. So if I walk in here, I'll just show you one more. I'm walking to the point. When you
Here we have the family lounge, which has a fire.
And
That's
you can
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool feature. And all of these audio points down here, this will take you to specific points in the tour. So the one here where it says kitchen, if I press that.
The kitchen was refitted last year, and as you can see, has.
Yeah, that's cool.
It'll take you to any point in the tour. Now, all of that is done by users. You know, it's all done using your browser. You go to a point, you click record, you save it, and then you share the link. So basically, you think about the way that, you know, solutions such as MP Embed work, you would, you know, create a new link which has got this embedded media wrapped around it. People just click on it, they're in the tour, and they've got all of this enriched media. Now, on the right side there, Dee, you know, what you'll also see is one of the other features that we provide as part of that monthly package, and that is the ability to embed Facebook Messenger into your tours as well. So from a lead gen perspective, it's a great tool in generating direct leads from people that are inside a tour. They can then interact with you via your Facebook Messenger, as you can see here. So I would click on that and I would just start the conversation.
Cool. Wow. Okay.
So all of that comes as part of that monthly package. And as I said, for MSPs, you know, the numbers that we just talked about, you can half those numbers for your company account. So, you know, from a cost perspective, you'd be looking at £49 for the UK. You'd be looking at $59 for the US, or you'd be looking at 55 euros for the EU. So half those prices for your company account.
All right. So let me see if I understand correctly. So if you're the MSP, I'm a real estate agent, but I want to do this with my seller or a buyer that I found. So you just set up the meeting and you give me that link, and I just send that to the seller or the buyer, and so we both log in at the same time, and you're not involved in this at all at that point. Okay.
Exactly. As an MSP, your customers are your customers. You send out the links. They're in the tour with you. You know, all we're doing is we're in the back end facilitating that. And you can then generate those direct sales, you know, direct to your customers.
And I can do as many of those as I want.
Yeah, as many of those as you want, and the audio tours as well. If you think about these audio tours, you know, what you see here is only just scratching the surface. You know, you have the same base model, the same Matterport tour. You could have it in English, Spanish, French, German, Chinese. You know, you could have different language versions. You could have an accessible version. You could have, you know, fire routes, safety, all of that. You know, you can have as many audio tours as you want. All you do, you put your Matterport URL in, you go to the points, you record the audio, and then you generate a new URL.
Wow. Okay. And after this call, we're going to talk about the accessibility part as well, because I'm going to push you to do that, to make that public, because that's huge.
Tell Mark. Let's keep it our secret.
We've got a lot of questions coming in, so if we don't get to all of your questions, we'll make sure that we answer them after this in the comments. Okay, but let's take a few more questions. Let's see. Oh, Nicholas says this is perfect. Thank you, Nicholas. And of course, Mark is on, Mark Shepard. Hey, Mark. He's a good friend of mine. All right, so is there a per tour flat fee, or do I pay monthly as an MSP and provide this service to my agents for free? So I think we answered that, but again, it's the monthly. It's the monthly fee. If it's an MSP, You get half off as an MSP. Now, how long is that half off going to last for?
Probably until about, what time is it now? It depends on demand, you know. So I think, you know, particularly at the moment, we understand that everybody is stretched, everybody is strained at the moment. So, you know, I would say at least for the next month, you know, we've got that offer in place. So yeah, it's there for at least another month, and who knows, it could be 6 months, it could be longer, but you know, we've got it in there for at least the next month.
Okay. So Case says, it is possible to invite customers as video guests with OpenHouse without a link to the tour for wholesalers? We want to protect their tours.
Could they have? It's difficult because by being inside the tour, you need the link to get into the tour.
So you have the Matterport ID number, which is public, right? And you need that in order to get to the Matterport tour.
Yeah, it's difficult. And I know that there are solutions out there to hide things like the core URL. But yeah, with questions like that, if he wants to email us direct, you know, he can certainly email us at team@boost3d.net, and you know, we can certainly get back to him to answer any questions that I can't answer right now.
Okay. So Teddy, who's definitely interested, says, sounds like one might be able to charge people to get in this way, no? Since the tour URL is not visible anywhere.
So paywall, pay-per-view is definitely quite a hot topic at the minute. You know, we're currently speaking to a guy in New Zealand who's doing exactly that. Good guy, looks like he's got a great solution. So we're exploring it. You know, we're exploring the possibility of whether you could have guided tours where people pay and someone takes you around. So when you look at this tech and what it could do, and you combine it with other techs, you know, you're in a nice place because you can do some pretty special things. So yeah, there's all sorts of things that you could do. We, as developers, we need to really stay focused on what we're trying to do. You know, we're trying to create this, you know, interactive platform where people can explore collaboratively with others. And I think that there's lots of tools that we will do with Boost 3D. We've already spoken about the voice control. There's a lot more tools on the roadmap. You know, we just need to figure out if we could squeeze another day in the week, you know, then we might be able to get them all done soon.
Just clone Mark.
Yeah, in some ways that would be great. In others,
All right. So if you're interested, it's openhouse.boost, the number 3, the letter D.net. And there's a link in there for for a free demo. We'll put all those links in the description for you as well. And normally at the end of a session, I ask my guests, "What's your secret sauce?" So I'm going to ask you that, but I think I can answer that as well. So you answer, and then I will answer.
Our secret sauce is simplicity. You know, nothing to download. You know, no difficult software to operate. You're in a tour, you're with somebody else, everybody's got a nice HD quality experience, and it's just so intuitive that, you know, people just get it straight away. Yeah. So for me, it's all about simplicity, and that's probably one of the core strands of what we're doing.
Yeah, try it. It is very simple. It's got some great features like you can give control to somebody, but I can also control mine separately from it. So it's got some really cool features. Just give it a try, right? I think your secret sauce, however, is the fact that you created all of this by listening to what people wanted. Mm-hmm. How many companies out there go off and invent something that nobody really wants? Mm-hmm. And then it's like, okay, but you listen to your customers, you listened to the people, your audience, and that's key, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that you're going to have an amazing customer support department as well. I mean, I'm looking forward to watching this product grow. You're just going to knock this out of the park. You've got a fantastic foundation already, and I expect nothing less than this to take off and be wildly successful. So
that's very kind. Thank you, Dee, and thanks for having us on today. You know, it's a real pleasure to speak to you again. I know that you speak with some pretty big hitters. So it was good that you chose for us to come on as well. So thank you.
Oh, yeah, I'm honored that you came on. Thank you so much. I've learned a lot, and I hope everybody watching has as well. If you have any comments or questions, we'll be watching out for the questions that you've asked. I know Mark Shepard is on there answering most of them. Um, but we will add some other information to the comments section, and so you can try it out. And yeah, definitely check it out. It's worth it. But until next week, thanks you for everyone for joining. This has been Capture the World with Dee. Take care. Bye bye.